Yes, guys, welcome back to SFeatleyTV, and we're here for the back pages, which is another transfer stream. I've got Tom, journalist, and Connor with me. How are you guys?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Good. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, thanks.
No, cool. We won't mention about last night, shall we?
Not yet. No.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the share button as well. Whilst we discuss the latest transfer news or sort of transfer news. We start with Barcelona actually, because obviously we all know about what's been going on with Dembele and Griezmann, but in terms of the actual club itself, they're in their own little mess as well. So, they're buying. I think they bought Eric Garcia, Depay, Aguero, Wijnaldum. No, Ronaldo went to PSG.
Yeah, Wijnaldum.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. But they can't buy them and also extend Messi's contract until they clear around about 200 mil off the wage bill. It's ludicrous. I've got talk with me. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, not too bad considering. But you know what? Yeah, Connor says it right there, man. Made us proud. So yeah. But also, racism must stop.
Of course.
All those people who've got on this fucking agenda going against England and England fans and generalising people, just stop. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
We're not all the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So talk. Barcelona are in their own financial mess. Should we put it that way? So, yeah. What do you see with the problem with Barcelona at the minute?
Just they paid too much money out, and they've not been getting enough in. So they're putting ridiculous wages to people like Griezmann. What is it? 800, supposedly 800,000
a week. Yeah, 750,000 a week.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, do you know what it is? You get to the point where, you have a lot of success like they did on the Pep, and the bits of success they had before that, and the bit of success they had after. They're like chasing that again against Madrid. And they've just got a little bit sort of, how should we say it? They've just got a bit happy with the purse. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've got a bit trigger happy with the purse and the monies and everything else. Now they're in real like problems, and I don't know. I had somebody mention the fact that they're close to going bankrupt. So if that's the case, they need to seriously offload a lot of players. But the problem is, who's going to take Griezmann on 750 grand a week? Are you mad?
Barcelona will never go bankrupt because the government supports them in Catalonia. It's all corrupt. Same with Real Madrid and Juve. The whole lot of them, right? Offshore accounts. I'm sure they've got them. Honestly, they're a disgrace. A lot of them, and there's actual clubs, small clubs who are struggling.
To say all corrupt.
They're all corrupt, yeah. But you see, smaller clubs are struggling to make ends meet, and look. Give that 200 million to get off the wage bill and give it to the lower league clubs in Spain or whatever, because that is just, the wages. 750 grand a week for one player could literally do a wage bill for like 16 of those clubs.
Connor, they won't pay this 200 million. They won't do this 200 million pounds where they've got to exchange it out. Let me put it like this: the two big name-made clubs in Spain are Madrid and Barcelona. Real Madrid and Barcelona, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You lose one of them, you lose the advertising for that football club, you lose the lot of that. If they're being hauled over a barrel with 200 million euros that they've got to fork out or they've got to find and they can't find it, then you've got them over a barrel, essentially.
UEFA will probably just fine them 10 million anyway.
When the league lost Cristiano Ronaldo, viewer sites towards Real Madrid went down, income revenues went down, and it just doesn't go down for the football club, it goes down for La Liga as well. You imagine if La Liga lose Messi because they can't give him the contract that he wants. That's more ad revenues. That's more money going down the toilet. Not just for Barcelona, but for La Liga. I'm telling you that La Liga will make some law. They'll pass some act to something, some GDS
There
or
you go.
BS in the financial rules where they'll change it all.
Hang on a minute.
And they'll get away with it.
I've got the actual list of how much everyone's earning so far. Lionel Messi. Oh no, get ready for this. Get ready for this. I'm actually going to share it. This is no. I'll share it in a minute. I'll read it out. Lionel Messi, number one, obviously. Annual salary of 70 million euros. 70.7 million euros.
Did you say 70? Did you say 70?
70, yeah.
70.
Yeah. 7-0.
Yeah, 7-0. Wait. He earns a weekly wage of 1.3 million euros.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
A
Plus
week.
bonuses. There'll be bonuses in that as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anton Griezmann, right, is the next one. He earns 881,000 a week.
Yeah.
Right. We've got De Jong, 400,000 a week. You've got PK, 245,000 a week. 200 Dembele's on 230,000 a week. Emitti's on 230,000 a week. Right. It's Busquets is 287,000 a week. Most of this squad is over 100,000 euros a week.
Yep.
It's nuts.
Steven, have you still got that list there? You're looking at it, aren't you? Right. Name me the wage that Philippe Coutinho gets paid. I'm going to tell you two players to you.
Oh, hang on a minute. Coutinho. Philippe Coutinho,
Coutinho, 165.
165,000 euros a week.
Right, now find me Pedri.
Pedri. If he's in there,
He'll be low on the list, though.
That's what I mean. Who's the better player out of those two players, though, at the moment?
Oh, Pedri.
Exactly. And you're forking out 165 grand to a player who you've loaned out, and you want to get rid of anyway.
It's not even on the book.
See, Titi doesn't even play.
There you go, Stephen.
Titi doesn't even play. He's on 230 grand a week.
He's not on the books, and he's the better player. That just tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, it's Pedri. Here you go. Yeah, he's only 17 years old. He's not even. Fee is worth €5 million.
When are FIFA going to step in here and end this? But this is just craziness.
FIFA won't do anything now.
FIFA will just say to Barcelona, "You give us £10 million. You give us £10 million. That's your fine, and you get away with it."
I thought FFP was designed to stop that.
It's not a thing anymore. They're remodernising it.
Yeah.
For next year.
Of course they are.
That's how Man City got away with making £100 million bid for Harry Kane, and nobody batted an eyelid over it. FFP can't touch him with a barge pole, and neither can UEFA.
Thanks, Munzie. Big up.
Big up, Munzie.
Yeah, big up, Munzie.
I've got to get you on at some point. I've got to get you on. We'll get you on like either the start of the season, a preview, or something like that. We'll get you on. Or we'll get you on a Man United watch-alongs. We do other watch-alongs other than just Arsenal all the time. So.
Yeah, no one wants to watch them all the time anyway.
Fuck off, right?
Well, no, we've got to be honest here.
I don't mean you start having a go at me.
We're an honest channel.
I'm still hurting.
I'll tell you one thing I'll be watching. I'll be watching that All or Nothing. Yeah, that was
We should do a watch-along for that. That'd be good.
Stop using what Maisie used against me last time. Honestly. That still hurts.
It's going to be more... Hold on.
I think
it's going to be more nothing than all.
Yeah. Someone said it should be called Mid-Table Matters rather than All or Nothing.
Shut up, bitch!
Me, I don't mind watching Arsenal and sleeping. Shut up.
See you in a bit, Munzie, mate.
It's not even been 24 hours. Leave me alone. Right?
Oh, look at it. The banner's even come down to the left of him. The Euro banner's gone.
Yeah, that got ripped up last night, really, angrily.
It's got... Fuck off.
It's gone, man. I witnessed it. He was crying while he was doing it.
Shut up! No, I was crying I was crying when the penalty was missed.
Oh, you're telling me.
And people
Oh.
saying like they'll get a grip. Oh, fuck off! Right,
No, listen, you can't hold your passion back, mate.
right. I
No,
was
go.
so because it's one of those. When are you going to get that chance again? For England, you
Next
don't
year.
get that chance very often
We'll
to win
get
a
it next
tie
year.
to win something.
We'll get a chance at the World Cup.
Yeah. Because one thing's for sure, I know we're not supposed to be talking about it now, but yeah, big up ones.
Big up Man United agenda. Big up Man United TV. Yeah. You were saying.
I mean, because Southgate's not going anywhere. I don't think he should go anywhere. But
He'll
what
get
I
a new
do
deal.
think, what he needs to do though, is what we all know he needs to do. Not just me, you know, but we all know he needs to be more attack-minded. He really needs to get that team now. He knows what that team can do in a defensive structure. He now needs to start looking at, okay, then I can trust you to do a defensive job when you need to, but let me see now then how we can fare going all out attack and putting it really going after teams. Like, you know what I mean? Because I think they can. We all know we've got the players to do that.
If we did that last night, we would have battered them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is what I didn't get the whole game. Like, why we then scored? That's why I said once we scored that goal, I want a second. I want a second. As long as the game goes on, the more he's going to go, I'm going to sit back. I can't. I didn't expect him to do it for a whole fucking half.
If we're 2-0 up, then it's fine to go ahead and do that.
Anyway, that's for a later discussion.
That's last night.
That's for a later discussion. Yeah, but I think that the situation with Barcelona is actually, for them, quite serious. Subs came on too late. We need to change. Yep, definitely.
The Porter's losing
there was a goal
confidence
coming.
Politically, he's losing confidence already, and he's only been there a couple of months.
Yep. Now, this is what I'm going to bore everyone. Right. In other news, Arsenal have actually made a signing.
Wow!
I know, fucking hell. And I nearly fell off my chair. Right. It's not exactly like one of the priorities, should I say? But it's a good enough buy. I'm not going to complain. They signed Nuno Tavares for Tavares from Benfica. 21-year-old left back, Portugal, under 21, £8 million is among the fee. And apparently we're also in the head of the race for Locatelli as well. Since, but I believe, like with anything with Arsenal, I believe they want to see it. Lovely.
Well, listen, if you're the ones to first start negotiation with Locatelli, then you're pretty much favourite to get him, aren't you? Because you know, I think
I'm not so sure.
You know, you know, it depends on. I can't imagine. I mean, who else is going to go in for him? One of the top six.
At least we have like a proper backup for Tierney. That's the thing. Because
Tom,
he's going to pick up injuries.
Tom, we're in the Premier League is in a better position financially at the moment than most of the other leagues.
Oh,
so I think
absolutely,
100%. But what I mean is, I look at players like Locatelli. I take the one player who I said for the fact when he was still in Italy, and that was Barella. Manchester United had the best possible chance to go and get Barella before he went to Inter Milan, and he had the option of the offer on the table from City. He had it from Barcelona, PSG, the lot. Instead, he chose Inter Milan. Players like Locatelli, I think, in their mindset and their head, a lot of Italian players in that sort of ilk tend to stay in Italy for their whole career. They don't tend to branch out abroad. That's why you don't see a lot of major Italian players in a lot of leagues. The only major two that you can say that are still out there now today are Jorginho in the Premier League and Verratti at PSG. They're the two main ones. There's not really any more big names that are branching outside of Europe. Like Chiellini and Bonucci, there's been a partnership for both Italy and Juventus for nearly 15 years, upwards of 15 years, working together. This is what I'm talking about, where players don't tend to branch out in that sort of ilk. I mean, if Arsenal get him, depending on the price, I think the price that's being touted is around about 40 million euros, which is roughly around 35 million. It's a steal, to be honest. We saw came on against England yesterday, completely helped Italy control that midfield even more. And if you can get the right players around him, then I think, you know, making those late runs into the box or whatnot, I could see that happening. But whether Arsenal can get, if Arsenal want to strike, they need to strike now while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would say goes against Arsenal, and I'm not saying this badly, is the Champions League. That's the only thing. Yeah, big up Mel, big up. The only thing I'm saying though with Arsenal is not having that Champions League attraction there. I think will slide things slightly.
Well, no competition, nothing.
If other clubs come in for him, like I said about Juventus and stuff, if they do want or look at this player, that's going to throw a little bit of that's going to be put in the conversation, should we say? And there's the whole UEFA structure with wages. If you don't qualify for Europe, you get downgraded, down payments of 20% and bollocks like that. So, but if Arsenal can break back into the Champions League, then by all means, I don't think it'd be a bad buy. But if you're going to get him, you're going to have to pay him a lot. That's all I'm going to say. Because I think
that's not with anyone that we buy. We're going to have to
a couple of clubs will want him.
Pay him a lot. That's the thing. I will say this as well. I will say is that with Locatelli, it's worth like you said, it's worth every penny in a minute. He's proved himself in the Italy squad, though coming off most of the bench most of the time. And yeah, I mean, I don't obviously want to be talking about fucking Italian players right now, but not that I'm bitter. Fuck them. Just really, just don't walk on the same street as me. I might pull you by your neck.
Garrotting somebody like that is
GBH.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
I get
anyway.
shirt pulls, but shirt pull is like here.
Your
not
side,
there.
not your neck. Yeah, not your neck. Yeah.
Like, have you I don't know. I've worn them things, and it's not exactly like this one where it's loose.
Oh, it's tight.
It's
tight
around your neck.
Yeah, I know tight things.
Anyway, Saeed, how are you, mate?
Very, very angry. I wasn't sure if I was gonna join this stream. I'm so angry at all the racist abuse that's going on in this country.
Yeah.
I'm angry at Prime Minister. I'm angry at all the cowards that hide behind social media accounts. I'm angry about the social media platforms. They're not doing anything about it.
I spent most of last night doing Instagram, getting rid of fucking comments.
Yeah.
And I think it's high time that the government put in fines for social media platforms when they don't do enough. That's the only solution. When they start hitting their pockets and it hurts them, then they will do something about it.
Can I just say something?
How can you do it to a 19-year-old kid?
Can I say
Still
something?
A kid?
Yeah. Go on.
This is why I didn't want him taking a penalty.
One sec. We've got as individuals and the users of these said platforms, we're the ones with the power. We're the ones with the power. And I tweeted it was about 6 weeks ago or so. I put out a tweet. I can't remember exactly what it said, but it was something along the lines of, let's break Twitter. And then I said, if everybody at a certain specific time of day that suits most of, especially the European countries and any other countries that can do it at a time when it's, reasonable for everybody. If everybody was to tweet the same message all at once, and it's directed towards, especially the advertisers who advertise on these platforms, that this is not we are not going to stand for this. If you are not going to do what you're supposed to be doing, which is making your platforms a safe place, for fuck's sake. If you're not going to make your platforms a safe place for everyone to go on and enjoy, then we will find a way, as the users of it, to cause problems on there. Because the government, the government, Boris Johnson, and those underneath him, we all know that racism is a institutional problem.
Yes.
And Gary Neville, what Gary Neville said, big up to Gary Neville, by the way. I know
he's consistent with it.
What Gary Neville said.
Don't drop off of the fucking conversation. Keep going with it. Consistent.
This is the thing, Tom, and this is why. Do you know what? When somebody called me out for not never having my camera on, this is the reason why. Just look at my where that flip is now. My little logo there. That's a constant reminder to people that I ain't interested in your bullshit. If you're going to come out with any racism, any sexism, any fucking homophobic shit or anything like that, I ain't interested. Don't do it. Yeah, don't do it. And that's why I always just have that there and nothing else. Steven's seen me. Steven's seen me. The Man United agenda.
Before that bloody thing came out.
Man United agenda boys have seen me. Matt's seen me. Loads of people have seen me. They don't know who I am and what I look like. Everything else. So, and I can't help looking like Tom Cruise, by the way. But honestly, this is. We have the power to do this, and I'm. You know what? I'm for anybody who wants to jump on board and try and make some kind of noise on Twitter around this, directed at Twitter and getting people involved, and then because at the end of the day, as I say, for me, it's us. We're the ones with the power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're the ones who generate the income for these platforms. Without us. Then and same for YouTube.
Yeah.
And again, this is another thing. Can I just say before I finish, because I know Saeed will say something. I said it. I said this last week. Saeed, I don't know if you was. I don't know. Oh well, maybe a few weeks ago. But I said as well with YouTube. YouTube has also got the power because YouTube is now a massive part of everybody's life. You know, everybody goes on YouTube, from 90-year-olds to 9-year-olds. YouTube has the power. So you can keep shoving these adverts in our faces about manscaping, about landscaping, about fucking buying fancy cars that we can't afford.
Yeah.
All these other kind of crazy things, 5 or fucking 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever it be, right?
Yeah.
Why are YouTube not using their platform themselves to put things in front of people that remind them on a regular basis, this is the damage that is caused by racism.
Yeah. And
try and start and get some kind of even doing their own educational. If the government ain't going to do it, and the schools ain't going to do it, YouTube, man, they can do it. There's teachers out there now, I guarantee you, who if you went and asked them and said, look, are you willing to get involved with YouTube and come up with an educational program for the youngsters and for everyone in general about racism and how we can get around it and get it, once and for all stamped out and have it become just because the racism has to be, for me, it has to be like in the same category as, like I said to you before, if I went outside and just started slapping a woman up in the street, I'm gonna get arrested. I'm gonna get my head kicked in. People are not gonna have it. And it has to be the same for racism. If you do it, you have to be held responsible for it, and it ain't just words; it's more than that.
There's one way you can easily do this, and social media companies, I know because they've done it in the past, but they did it when they had when everything was going on with the whole financial gains and all that campaign. The Black Lives Matter movements were happening and stuff. All this sort of stuff. What they put in algorithms, and anybody know what an algorithm is? Basically, an automated service. Every single comment that breaks guidelines or rules and regulations gets rescinded, deleted, and the account gets permanently blocked, depending on the severity of it. They have a rating and they have a scale, 1 to 5, depending on the different scales of it. If it's a death threat, you're going to get permanently blocked. If it's a racial threat, you're going to get XYZ amount of days, or you're going to get permanently blacklisted. And any time that device that you are using, or any device that is connected to your home address or in that vicinity, if it is the same user who is using that device, that's how they can track you, that's how they find you. But if anybody wants to use that device again, they can't ever log on again. They did it with the Black Lives Movement when everything was kicking off with that. When it was all the Black Lives Matter and everything. They did it against racism, not for it. They went against it completely.
Yeah.
So they've done it. They can do it in the past, but they did it in the wrong way. Do it now. Put algorithms on Saka's Twitter account, on Rashford's Twitter, on all social media accounts, and it's not just football players. It happens. You walk down the street.
I mean, just some of it last night. This is why, like,
they've done it to copyright. I mean, they do it to things that hurt their pockets. So it's not that they don't have the technology to do it. It's just the willingness is not there, and that's what baffles me. Because the thing is with abuse and racially abuse, you know, we players like Saka, they will get help, they will get support. But what about the 50-year-old kid who can't afford to get psychotherapy, who doesn't have the courage to tell his parents, who gets depressed, who takes his life? What about them? Who's there for them?
What about the old guy who's living on his own?
Exactly.
Who's
70, 80 years old? Who puts himself out there and people laugh at them and people make a mockery of them. What about them? Who's there to support them? What about all the females who doesn't feel confident with their body and put themselves out there and get abused? Who's supporting them? I mean, there's so many people who will take their life, get depressed, get into drugs, get into alcohol.
Like getting falsely accused for doing something like this that you've never done in your life.
Carry on.
It's something that it's not spoken about enough. There's no action because we live in a society where the only thing people care about, or I won't say people, but the only thing the institutions care about is making profit. And as long as they have more users on social media and their share price goes up, they don't care.
Do you know what?
As long as they pay tax to the government doesn't care.
Yeah, we have to come up with there has to be some kind of way that we users
definitely
can do something.
We have to do something, and I will definitely sit down and think about something that we can do.
Yeah, but there's got to be a way.
Now, I'm at the hospital. I have to go, but I'll try and be back to the 8 o'clock stream. Big up to all of you. I know that you are the good ones.
Yeah, man. You know that, Si. You know that. I hope everything's all right, mate, there with you, whatever, while you're at the hospital.
Yeah. It's going to be fine.
Cool. Thanks, man.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Take care. See
you. It's.
I mean, it's just like some of it yesterday was just like, I'm like, really?
But do you know what I said, Stephen? What did I say? The worst thing is.
I mean, like, seriously, are you mad?
Hold on. The worst thing is that we were expecting it.
Yeah.
We were expecting it.
As soon as those penalties were missed, I know you said it, Vitor, but I agreed with you on it. Straight away, Rashford. As soon as you see Rashford's face, right? Let's take that picture, right? Let's use it. Let's abuse it. Straight away, Saka. As soon as he's being embraced by Southgate, right? Let's take that. Let's use it. Let's abuse it. Same with Sancho. Same with a lot of them. And if you want to use your face and you can't be asked to show your face and say what you want to say, that just shows who you are, and that's a coward. If you've got the balls, if you're man enough to come on and say what you've got to say, then do it. By all means, do it. But if you haven't got the balls, keep your trap shut. Don't post anything. Keep your opinions and what you think to yourself, because nobody wants to fucking hear it.
And what would you say the likelihood is that most of this, like the majority of this is coming from kids who are under 18.
Well, no education, no
Exactly.
sort of education, no educational system at all. And we can tell we went about it, with generations of things and this like that. Some of us last night, this was a once in a generation opportunity, not just for us as fans, but for these as players. These kids will have grown up. These players who went out there, Saka wasn't even born when we won the World Cup.
Yeah.
Wasn't even born to even understand these sort of things. Exactly the same when you want to go all the way back to such as Jeff Hurst. If we lose tonight, let's lose going down fighting. And we did that. Regardless if we missed penalties, yesterday wasn't our night. Let's be clear. If a goalkeeper saves 2 penalties and you don't win a penalty shootout, it's not your night. Pickford saved 2 and we still lost. That just proves that it wasn't our night tonight. Who's to say later down the road it's not going to be our night? Because these players will come back from this. They've got full careers ahead of them. Sancho, Rashford, Saka. A lot of them. They'll achieve bigger and better things than what they've had to persevere with and go through tonight. Well, last night. There'll be bigger stories where they'll be in the paper for positive things. Not always negative where they've been racially abused. I went on and I saw a channel from Australia, and they've spoken about the story of it, and they said 3 black players cost England the Euros on penalties. Why do you have to use that term and that wording? You couldn't name the 3 players with their official names, could you?
That's outrageous, man.
3 black players cost it. Yeah, if you go on that, I can't remember. I will find out what the channel was because I was on another one of my mates' channels, Nuruddin. I was on one of his channels and he told me about it when I was in the comments section. And I went and researched it back. I'll try and find it after the stream. I'll try and send you it. Australian? It's not a YouTube channel. It's just like a TV show. It's like Talk Sport, but for Australia, basically.
I mean, do you know what? It's funny because let's just say it right. I mean, when I say this is not directed at all Australians, but that Australia does have a problem with racism. We know that big time.
Everyone does.
Everyone does.
And also, yeah, but there is listen. The people, the Australians. I mean, what I'm getting at here is the Aborigines. Australians, we went there and took that land and just imposed ourselves on the Aboriginal people, and then they got pushed out and they got mistreated and they got abused. So, who's that? Whose fault's that? Whose fault is that? That's England, because we were the ones who went there, Van Diemen's land. We thought, oh yeah, we're going to take all our criminals that we don't want here anymore to go there.
Yeah,
that's what they did. That is our mess. That's our mess that needs to be sorted out. But will they do it? Will they fuck?
Well, yeah.
They won't do it.
Same with Argentina though, with the Falklands War. When was the last time England and Argentina got drawn up against each other at a World Cup race? Ages. Footy or what? And the 2014 World Cup was in South America. Well, it wasn't in Argentina. It was obviously in Brazil. But questions the point. You're not going to draw teams up against teams of that sort of ilk and whatnot, based on what wars.
Oh my god, there's still stuff there, man.
You're just going through it now, aren't you, Stephen?
Yeah.
We'll continue talking about this for the whole summer. But when the fans start going back in the stadium, I don't want to hear booing. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear applauding, standing ovation. None of this booing. I'm sick of it.
This is the thing. Is like what Gary Neville pointed out. You know, when the Prime Minister of our country says it's okay to boo, taking the knee or whatever we're booing and things like that, you just think, wait a minute. You know, that's the wrong message to be putting out. You can't say that. I know we live in a free society and you've got freedom of speech and all the rest of it, but there are just some things that if you're saying in one hand racism is bad, but then on the other saying it's but you're okay to boo those people for taking the knee. You can't fucking do that. It's like me saying, right here, there's 50p for your fucking hard work, but I'm just going to take it back because you owe me.
Well,
So,
it's
hey.
like, it's like with you know, you can have your opinion about Gareth Southgate all you want, if it's tactics or whatever. But the one thing you can say about him, man management, and in terms of the media, we've never had an England manager like him who can deflect media attention. Most, you know, previous England managers would have wanted to have brushed over the attention of, well, Saka's missed a penalty, Rashford has, and Sancho has. They've all missed penalties. You know, what's your thoughts on it? They don't wanted to change topic. They wouldn't have wanted to speak about that. Where Southgate is open the doors, right? What do you want to talk about? And this is the thing where I said, in terms of Southgate, man management wise, I would say he's one of the best in the world. Man and management wise, because he's been in that exact situation, the exact same feeling that players like Saka, Rashford, and Sancho were in last night. Exactly the same feeling. Yeah. And it was same with Colombia when we got over the line against Colombia, but there was still that nervousness, there was still that doubt there of, oh, well, Henderson missed the penalty. All right, so we just shit this, that, the other. Instead of the shit. And it's the same with such as now in modern day managers would turn around and say, no, that's the wrong thing to do. You shouldn't support Black Lives Matter. You shouldn't take the knee, this, that, the other. But I look at such as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We can criticise Ole as Manchester United fans. You know, our Man United fan talkers. When all that happened with Palestine, for example, when Amad Diallo and Paul Pogba took the flag onto the field, as soon as Ole got questioned that, he dealt with it in the right way, in a positive way. That's how you should deal with it. Arteta did it with Aubameyang, where there was the whole of the airport situation, where they didn't have a hotel to stay in or anything. That was based on nationality. It's like I say, it's disgusting, and it's going to be in moderation for generations to come. It's never going to be extinct. It's not going to be like dinosaurs. You're never going to see them again. It's going to be extinct. It's always going to be there, but it's how you can combat and fight against it. And there is ways how you can do it, but they just don't want to do it. Don't want to do it.
Yeah, just got to run through some of the comments. All off to the panel. That person trusting to what I saw that. It's just like, what the fuck, bro? Why did Southgate put in children to make those kicks? Can you imagine?
Training, probably.
Yeah.
Training.
Yeah. I changed my country. Jamaica is playing in CONCACAF Gold Cup today. I've never seen you talk.
Big up Jamaica.
Yeah. Yo, talk. You bro. Big up everyone. I'm sickened by the way black people are treated in our country. I bet if it was all white players, what missed last night wouldn't have cascaded as much. Don't highlight colour. Yeah.
Lion sniper. he's yeah, man. It's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see you, sweetheart, as well, mate. Don't worry about that. I can't wait to see Tom as well. I've got a real crush on Tom. Don't even know what he looks like, but I really have. I tell you what, though, Tom. Honestly, I love your laugh, mate. Your laugh really tickles me, man. And I think you're a really sound lad. I don't know how old you are, but you're a sound lad. I don't want to say bloke just in case you're not that old. So, don't want to offend you. But no, yeah, you know what? It's a. And you know what? I do not want my son, when he's my age, right, to be having this conversation that we're having now, because that will be fucking diabolical. Surely, you know, this is a generational thing now. I think there are certain parts of society that are unreachable, unchangeable, that will always hold their views, whether it be privately or whatever, and they will try and push those views at every opportunity they can, in whatever setting that be. But there are the youth, there are the kids that we can change. They can get them into a mindset, and that this becomes like a real no-no. Even the thought of it becomes a real no-no, because the reason why is not just because of the consequences from the societal point of view, but also because of an understanding of what it does to other human beings. You know, the pain it causes, the damage it does. These are the things that these kids need to understand and learn about, because without that, it's, you know, you don't if you don't understand what you're doing in that respect, then it's going to be, you're not going to really, because you're just going to keep doing it, aren't you? You know, it's like if you numbed your hand, if you put your arm in a freezer and numbed it, right, or injected it with that stuff to do at the dentist, and then start hitting it with an hammer, you're like, yeah, that's great, it's cool, yay, bang, bang, bang away. But then at some point when that wears off and your hand is fucking killing, that's what I'm getting at. Is they need to understand that, because it may not hurt them now, but going forward in their future, you know, it will hurt them when they, you know, get to a certain age or meet up with a certain different group of people, and it's going to be a problem for them. So,
I just thought, yeah, like you said, it doesn't. I don't know how you can stop it in the end. That's
well, listen, this problem is a complicated issue, because, like I said, you know what, you look at it from a bird's eye view. Racism it's like, you know, you've got separate stones on the floor. You know, you've got one for like poverty, you've got one for, I don't know, other whatever, health, whatever, and then you got racism. But the racism is such a layered. It's got so many levels to it. Like lots of other problems in society have got.
Yeah.
Like sexism and homophobia. Well, however you say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But racism goes much deeper, because there's more, like I said, there's more layers to racism. Because, you know, people can be like prejudiced without even knowing that they are being, just by comments that they make or ways of thinking or asking certain questions. They don't really understand, because that's like, I can't remember, it might have been on Monday or somebody was saying, or Solo, that's just the way that they've seen society be as growing up. So you don't know like that's not really how you're supposed to do it. You know. And this is what I'm getting at, is that we're going to teach these kids. We have to start right back at the drawing board with a blank canvas, you know, and make them aware of these layers. So that, because it's without if you don't remove the layers, you know, it's like putting, you know, it's like putting a blanket over a wet blanket and then lying down on it for a minute. Yeah, it's going to stay dry for a minute, but eventually the layer underneath will soak through onto that next layer. Even if you put 2 blankets or 3 or 4 or 5, eventually it will come soaking through. And that's the same with racism. So you have to eliminate each layer at a time. And this is one of the most difficult aspects of it, in my opinion, is you've got to start from the bottom and work your way right back up. So you start with, like, what you would say is, you know, there's the stuff where, like I said, people don't really say certain things, and there's like, as far as they're concerned, it's like, you know, this is, you know, there's nothing wrong with how I'm saying. But really, you take a step back and look at it and read it written in the context that you're saying it. Actually, there is a problem. There is something there. So, you know what I mean? You gotta. We have to. But again, this is for the government and the education secretary and his crew to deal with. Do you know what I mean?
You don't do anything anyway, so.
Well, no. This is the thing. And Boris, this is like I'm saying, Boris Johnson, local councillors, like
the amount of bloody U-turns they took with the free school meals. Campaign for was shocking. Absolutely shocking. Same with Raheem Sterling when he went about the No Room for Racism campaign that he set up, and all the petitions that he got for it. Rejected it straight away. Didn't even get any media attention. Nothing. And it wasn't media attention.
I've just had a crazy thought. I was watching a program, right? I was going to run this by you quickly. I was watching a program about systemic and endemic institutional racism. Imagine, right? Let's just say this for 1 second. If this is one way of me, like with that, you know, like when people go for jobs and positions, and you know, a really talented person who is either, you know, black, Asian, you know, like Chinese, Japanese, whatever, right? Then, but they don't get the job, and somebody else gets it who isn't. We know, we've all seen that. We all know that exists. We all know that happens, right?
Judging.
Why? What they should do is, even inside business. If I had my own business right now, a big business that employed lots of people, right, of all different cultures and everything else, right, and I had other people below me saying, right, you're the HR, you're responsible for the hiring and firing and promotions, right? However, this is how I want you to do. How I want you to do promotions is, you put it out on the notice board forum, the WhatsApp group, whatever. Right, there's going to be a promotion coming up for head of fucking internal affairs. Right, there's going to be a promotion coming up. Now then, the way we want you to, or the way we're going to have you apply for this position is, we are going to get all your stats up for the work that you have done to this date, right, and all your like positive actions and everything else, all your timekeeping and all blah blah blah, and it goes on a piece of paper with no names attached to it, no anything to identify who these stats belong to, and they just get them put in front of somebody else who makes the decision from those stats. Yeah, exactly. So you make then the decision from those stats. That way, you know, that way it's very, people get more opportunity, because, like I said, we all know that. I mean, I've seen it myself. You know, I've seen it and I've heard about it myself. You know, people who are more than capable of doing the job really well, and they don't get the opportunity. And it's not, you know, it's no coincidence that they are, you know, either. I don't like using the word, but anyway, you know what I'm saying. I can't. Why do I? I've got a real problem even with just saying like that word. It's just fucking it's really fucking me off, man, big time. But we're in. I mean, fucking hell.
We shouldn't be talking about it, really.
No, we shouldn't. I mean, it's been going on for years. I remember when going to an England match years ago at the old Wembley, when John Barnes was still playing. The abuse he got from our own fans just couldn't stomach it. It's got a very good point. Again, like, it's not the first time, and it probably won't be the last either. Can I just ask you this?
Let me just ask you this, Tom. Let me ask you this. If I was, right, you support Man United, yeah?
Yeah, the other one.
Right, you apply for your season ticket, yeah? You apply for your season ticket. I then come back to you, right? I either email you or I call you and I say, hello, Mr. Tom, I see you've applied for your season ticket at Old Trafford. Really, really pleased about that. Now then, as part of the season ticket requirements now, we require that you wear, when you come into the stadium to watch our games or go on a away trip, we ask that you wear a armband that is quite clear and visible, which quite clearly states that you are in a group of fans that will not condone and will not accept or allow any kind of racial behaviour in a racist sense in the stands, outside the ground, and you will take it upon yourself to do whatever you can to you know, do the right thing.
Yeah.
And that's part of the requirements for you to take the season ticket. Do you still want that season ticket?
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go. This. I know it sounds a bit kind of like draconian and like, you know, big brotherish or whatever you want to call it, but at the end of the day, can we not see that everything else that has been tried is failing miserably?
It shows progression, because you're hitting the foundations of if you get season ticket holders and if you're hitting that short target market, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be going to near enough every single game.
Can we?
Yeah.
I just also want to bring the point of like the other part of the fallout for me that's pissed me off is like now I get when like you lose, your rivals are going to banner you. Like that's all part and parcel of the game. Like, but then to start like slagging off like the English in general when I've never been anything wrong. Neither you, Tom, or anything like that. Like, and I'm like, seriously? I mean, the Welsh, for instance, I never criticise the Welsh. I'd never slag off the Welsh. Otherwise,
no.
Like
when Wales got beat, or Scotland, did any of us like started like giving it like, you know, slightly Scottish people? We bantered the football team and we said things like, "Oh yeah, the desolation of Smaug is complete," and then we did yeah, right, that's banter, that's banter. But did we ever bring anybody's nationality into it? No.
Did you ever say like English twats or anything like that?
No.
Well, it was like what anybody who watched Sky Sports News this morning around about 10 a.m. He was in Carve Solikov and he was actually live in Rome, and he had the local newspapers from the north side of Italy, the south, and more Juventus based. And it was the one newspaper that stood out to me was 2-2 Sport. Anyway, if anybody knows what 2-2 Sport is, they're basically a more Juventus based newspaper out there. And things that they were saying in that newspaper, the sort of goading it almost of things such as they applaud the referee, they graciously embrace the referee because he didn't give Sterling. Well, they didn't even say his name. They didn't give the diver. They didn't give the diver the decision when he fell to the floor. All of these different types of stereotyping and bending the words to make it hit the drums, should we say? To make the noise, to make the media affection. It's disgusting because if we put roles reverse, the English media wouldn't be talking about Italy's failures or Italy this, Italy that, or Jorginho should have been sent off. Yeah, we wouldn't have been talking about that. We'd have been talking about how Pickford was a hero on the penalties, how Shaw from that major injury that he had coming all the way to scoring in a Euros final. Yeah, Bukayo Saka, Sancho, young players who were written off from a young age, brought through the ranks and then had been given the chance and then have gone and achieved what they have. We'd have been talking about this sort of thing. And this is the one that media can grab people and grab stories by the balls, but they don't hold it up and hold to account. And this is why things such as social issues, such as racism and stuff, will never end. Because the media fuels all of this tension and all of this media pressure. And until there's going to be a law or until there's going to be some sort of act or something put in place by governments or whoever, UEFA, FIFA, whoever it's going to be, until something gets put in place, there's never going to be any change. We're going to be sitting here this time next year, the exact same story. If something happens at the World Cup or something happens in a Champions League final, a Europa League, whatever, there's still going to be the same exact situation, the same exact opinions and things. It's always going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I had a bit of an argument with somebody today in one of our groups, and it started because the thing with Sterling not getting player of the tournament and giving it to Donnarumma because he's made a couple of saves. It's like, wow, right, big deal. You've made a couple of saves, but Raheem Sterling has clearly been absolutely quality for England. He's scored goals. He's worked really hard. He's been all over the place. Yeah.
Even if it's not Sterling, it's Luke Shaw. It was destined to be an England player. Either one of those two.
Yeah. So, but the fact that they didn't, and they just now all of a sudden, just because Donnarumma saved a couple of goals, they want to give it to him. So you know what? And I'm not the only person to say it. That there is you know, there is. It's a bit suspicious, isn't it, that he's black? Do you know what I mean? And he's not got it. So people who start coming out now, who start saying conspiracy theories, this theory and that theory, man, I don't want to hear it, because at the end of the day, I believe what I believe. Right? I believe what I believe. Also, the fact.
Everybody knows your way.
Also, the fact that the player who was, in my opinion, was assaulted, and denied a clear opportunity to create a real goal-scoring chance that could have won us that game, just got a yellow card and walked away smiling and kissing his arm, saying thank you to God, because he knew how close he was. It should have been a red card. He knew it himself, but people seem to think that that's not. No, that's not the case.
Same with Jorginho. So, in
my opinion,
you don't even get a yellow card for it, for what he did. Didn't get a yellow card.
That's the thing, and you know what? It's for me, that is, and I don't. You know what? I'm going to argue it out on Red United TV in a bit with anybody who wants to have a go, because that is, for me, you can't. That is a massive thing. We were unfairly treated in terms of the referee's point of view of the game. Now, again, I'm not going to say.
As soon as UEFA saw that Italy had won the Euros, they were smiling and laughing their face.
Oh yeah.
You could see it when they were handing the medals out.
Yeah, I know.
They loved every minute of it.
Yeah, loved every minute of it. Didn't give, even with Saka, he just gave him the medal. He didn't even put it over his head.
So they give the.
How disgusting is that?
Yeah. So the game before it.
As soon as the Italians come up for their medals, he's embracing them. He's hugging them. He's doing this, that, the other.
Yeah. Oh, mate, listen, I know it. We all know it.
To the car.
Yeah, we all know it. Listen, what's his name? The guy at the head of FIFA is fucking Italian. Infantino. He's Italian, isn't he? So, and the game before it against Denmark, we get put in charge. We get a referee put in charge who is 2 years experience. I mean, get the fuck out of here. So then they go, oh shit, right, everybody's onto us for that. All right, who can we get now? This other referee, who is, I'm sure, if you do your research on him, is probably known for his leniency in certain aspects of the game. So they've looked for somebody, because they know how Italy played. They know how Italy played a game. Their dirty tactics. What they did against Spain with all the head rubbing and the fucking grabbing hold of him as if he's like, you're just a little kid. I'm your big brother. Run along. You know you're going to get beat type arrangement, which was well out of order, by the way. And then, so then we get this other referee then who's a bit shy with his cards. I mean, come on. Are people going to sort of ignore that aspect of what's happened here?
Tell me the Ukraine game, though. You're telling me, right, 4 out of the 5 officials that were officiating that game, the team that we knocked out before Ukraine was what? What team was that?
Germany.
4 out of the 5 officials who were officiating the Ukraine game were from where? Take a guess.
Italy.
No, Germany.
Oh, Germany, yeah.
We've just knocked them out.
Oh, yeah.
The referee was German. The 4th official was German. Both linesmen were German. All of them were German, and we've just knocked them out. Coincidence or what? You couldn't get any other officials from any other nationalities. Little bit suspicious.
Yeah, I mean,
do you know what? Let me say this. If that had been Declan Rice on Insigne, I would love to see what the outcome would have been from that. If Declan Rice or Harry Maguire would have yanked Insigne...
Oh, he wouldn't have been an off, mate. He would have been taken to court.
He'd have been off. He'd have been a red carded. The Italian players would have been kicking right off. It'd have been a big skirmish.
He'd have been recalled to court in Greece.
Yes. Exactly. And you know what? That for me, I don't see how people can like sort of like pass it off as like, you know, oh, it's just a bad decision. It's like, no, it fucking ain't. You are talking here,
What
right?
about Grealish?
Hold on, I know I'll come to that in a minute. But this is the competition that UEFA have put together, right? This is their competition, and they are saying all these teams, the elite teams, right? The best teams are the best professionals, with all the rules that UEFA have in the leagues around Europe and the Champions Leagues and all that, right? So you're telling me that then in a final of the most important competition in European national team football, that it's okay to assault somebody when they are going to be clear of getting a really, because let's have it right, if Saka would have got around Chiellini, he would have had all the time in the world because no one would have got near him. So you're telling me that is okay in that setting, it's okay to assault somebody? Because if I went out on the street and did that to a kid, I'm going to get arrested. If I went and did that to a teenager, I'm going to get arrested. If I pull a teenager by their neck, right, by their shirt, and just go, fuck off, get on the floor, I'm going to get arrested. And don't nobody tell me that I ain't going to get arrested, because I fucking am. And so are you if you did it. But what? So all of a sudden, it's in the biggest game in European football, the biggest game, the final, millions and millions of people and kids watching it. That's okay now for kids to do that in their football. Then they can go. It's all right. It's not. He didn't even. You know, he got a yellow card. It's not that bad.
One of the best defenders in the world did it. Yeah, what's the point?
Right. So you know what? It's bullshit. He should have been.
Well, UEFA get pissed off anyway. Whenever an English team gets to either the Europa League or the Champions League final, they always get pissed off. That's why they've never liked it when it's been the two English finals. When it were Liverpool, Tottenham, when it were Arsenal, Chelsea, and then recently, when it were Man City and Chelsea.
And you know what it is? Because we've got the best league. We've got the Premier League. It started here in England, and that's why they don't like it. They want to have more control of the Premier League.
If there was a winter break, like there is in Spain, like there is in half the other nations, when there's a break over the winter where you don't play any games, if there was that in the Premier League, you don't have this fixture congestion that you have at Christmas time. If you don't have that, the Premier League would have at least one team in each of the European finals, probably every single time. Everybody would expect that.
Actually, Tom, you know what they should do with that, actually? Why don't they, especially in the seasons where there's no like major competitions, like the World Cup or Euros, when it gets to Christmas, they go, right, okay, look, we've got this congestion of fixtures here, which is about four or five games, is it? Really close together at Christmas time.
Yeah, it's normally 4 games in 10 days, I think, something like that.
Right, so rather than having 4 in 10, they should do 2, and then have like 2 games, and then have like 5 days or a week, like 7 days rest, and then play the other 2.
Yeah.
What's the problem with that? Push the season on by like fucking 5 days or whatever it is. What's the problem with that? Then you've got a little break. It's not too long to upset the season. It's not too long to upset the fans. I'd be quite happy to wait 10 days or a week.
Sent you a link, Billy.
I'd be happy to wait 7 days for the 2 matches that in the Christmas calendar. You see the first 2, so the one just before Boxing Day, whatever date that is, and then the one on Boxing Day, and then after that we wait for 7 days. Give the players time to have a good refresh, a good relax, enjoy a bit of Christmas time, just get relaxed and all the rest of it, right? And then bang, come back again after a week, and then go again for them other 2 games, and then carry on the season from there. I don't see the problem with that. I don't get it. It makes no bastard sense to me. And I know that the FA, the Premier League, and all the rest of it were like, "Ooh, no, we can't do that because of sponsors." Fuck you and your sponsors. Fuck you and your sponsors, you greedy fuck.
They make enough money anyway. They don't need sponsors.
What they do? They're greedy fuckers, mate. They rake in million after million after million, right? And then they find clubs
And then they wonder why and clubs decide I'm going to make a Super League.
Well, exactly, Stephen. Exactly. And this is what I said. Go back to now. This now puts into context what I was saying 6 weeks ago, whatever it was, 8 weeks ago, 9 weeks. There was a seed planted when that all happened with the ESL. That seed will now be germinating, and it is only a matter of time before there is going to be a massive change in the English game. Forget Europe. There's something will happen in the English league because clubs, owners. I mean, what's the? I mean, let's have it right now. If I'm the Glazers, I'm looking at this and I'm going, wait a fucking minute. Hold on a second. You're giving us X amount.
Got something up somewhere.
Oh yeah. You're paying us X amount. You're paying us X amount, right, for this season. Wait a minute. Let me go and just think about this. If I set up my own streaming service, Manchester United streaming live TV, whatever you want to fucking call it, right? What fan base have we got around the world estimated? Ooh, that's about how many would you say people? Fan base around the world of Man United? Fucking millions and millions and millions. Okay, so you look at that. You do probably more. You do the numbers on that. You do it at a really reasonable price for every game that our players are involved in, whether it's home or away. And we take our own camera crews, and it just gets streamed. And then all the money goes straight to Man United. You get a lot more money than you get off Sky. That's for sure. Now, what's to stop these clubs doing that in the future when they realise, wait a minute, we're missing a trick here? You know what I mean? We're missing a trick here. If you're not going to willing to give us whatever it is that we want, this increase in revenue, you know what? There's going to come a moment of realisation where they realise that as a group of clubs together, if the whole of the Premier League said, no, listen, tell you what, no, we're going to create our own. We're going to create our own media to stream our live games, and we'll just split the money equally amongst all the clubs, with maybe a slight percentage more going to the winners of the actual league.
Saudi Arabia and Qatar.
Estimated money. Hang on, you said about how many Man United fans you'd have to stream that to. 75 million fans worldwide.
Right. Okay then. So you say
that's
you work that out. That's a lot. So you think about.
What's about the team that they'll be playing against? If it's Barcelona or whatever, if it is this kind of Super League, you're going to take into account the amount of fans they've got as well.
Yeah.
That's
it. So you know what? And also
playing if Ronaldo.
Messi
and whoever.
I've got
all the fanboys and that will want to watch it.
I'll give Billy his say because we're going to wrap this up soon anyway. But go on, Billy, go for it.
Hi guys, how are you?
Yo, big up.
Yeah, still recovering, man.
Yeah, me too. First of all, I'd just like to say, what I saw yesterday was just disgraceful from people online. I can't get my head around what goes through some people's minds sometimes. And it just kind of shows why you are like
that's why I'm angry with Southgate.
Such an activist for this subject, because it needs to be talked about and it needs to stop. Because just at the end of the day, people's skin colour does not affect their performance on the pitch, and people should not be attacked for the colour of their skin for missing a penalty.
He's just a kid. Why was it better than miss that? He's 17.
And you're right. You're right, Billy, mate.
And it was quite funny actually. Mike Green was talking about I don't know, something about how England fans bantered them or something. I can't remember what he said.
We bantered them for losing.
He said England fans deleting tweets when they bantered us. Good morning. And then I replied as good morning to everyone whose team made the final and didn't get battered by Denmark in doing so.
Can I just make a point as well? Actually, it's all part of banter. But if you're going to start calling us twats and everything like that,
like English twats,
in
English stats. Don't bring nationality into it.
Why have you done that? Why have you got to do that?
And English tosses.
I never
as
did
well.
that with you. I never did that with you. And I called him out. And he didn't like it. He's saying, "Oh yeah, you were practically crying on your stream." Yeah, I was fucking crying. Yeah, I was. Because it's our first final, and I thought, when am I going to get to see that again? Right? So, of course, it fucking hurt. Right? But it's no reason to then start calling me an English twat. I'm not like them fuckers out there.
We'll see it again. We'll see it again. I'm telling you, this World Cup, there's something weird about it. This what we saw last night was a taster. These are young players like we've spoken about with Saka and stuff. Another 12, 18 months development, progression.
Yep.
Where we can speak all we want about the attacking players, even some of the young players that we've got coming through. I look at the likes of such as Lamptey at right back. The competition at right back is there. It's there to be had. The back four that we've got will probably be the same back four that will go to the World Cup. And in the Euros, defensively, we've been superb. We the goal that we conceded last night, I think, was a little bit unlucky. It's just the bounce of the ball, really. Sometimes when it comes off the post, that happens. And the other one was a worldie of a set piece, which caught us off guard. So it's not.
We only lost for set pieces.
Yeah, I don't think it's been a bad thing. And anybody who says that we haven't had the same run that Italy have had, well, hold on a minute. Germany are not a good team. As soon as Portugal and France were dumped out of the competition, they were the favourites to win it, weren't they now? And England beat them. Regardless of how we played, we beat them. Ukraine were an amazing team who come off of beating Sweden, who were playing really well. In the final stage of the match, wiped the floor with them. Exactly the same with the Denmark. We made hard work of it. We had the fans to play for. They had Christian Eriksen to play for. Playing against a team that have something to play for or a motivation is harder than playing against a world-class team, a world-class stars almost, because the drive and the determination is there to win at all costs. And like we said with the final as well, if this were the other way around, we wouldn't be acting like lunatics. Yeah, we've won something in 55 years. We'd at least have respect for the opponent, at least some level-headed. We wouldn't be over the top with it all. And like we've said, we always, with all the topics we've spoken about and stuff tonight, there's an end in sight, but it's how long it's ever going to take until something actually gets sorted or something actually gets done. Because it's not just clouting a couple of people, just playing football down the park. This is clouting, a whole nation almost, really. The whole governing bodies, the FA, UEFA, FIFA, a lot of them.
Big up, Doug.
Yeah, big up, Doug. This is what I'm saying. If you call them out, then we might actually get somewhere. But until we do, there's not really going to be any change.
Anyway, we're going to have to wrap that up anyway, because I've got match reaction at 8. So make sure to, as usual, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you share it on all your socials. Please join the membership as well. It does help contribute to the great cause. We are back at 8 p.m. for the match reaction and player ratings to this game. But until then, make sure to stay safe, stay well, and we will see you later on. Until then, take care. Bye bye.
Ciao.